bringing stuff into work with you. I'm going to tell you right now, whatever your situation is, I know you likely, depending on your space, you've got to be a little creative. So if, ultimately, ideally it would be you'd have a home office that's separate from the rest of your house. The location is everything. So you're able to, divide yourself or separate yourself from the home and work life. However, we know that that's not realistic for all of us. The number one place I will say, please, please do not have your home office in your bedroom. I recently went to a sleep study, or I saw a sleep expert, and she had said your bedroom is really for three things. It's for sex, sleep, and sickness. And I try to hold true to that's really what that room is intended for. Also, you want to look and see, is it in a place that is in where you like to find comfort, where you like to relax, so starting to get creative with where you could be. Set up a shutdown ritual. I don't know about you, but my brain is going in circles. I have all the to-dos I've got to do. So trying to figure out what that looks like. When am I going to shut down? Maybe setting a timer, now because we don't have the punch clock, or maybe, we're not leaving the office, and that's our ritual. So figuring out what it looks like to shut down and creating some sort of ritual for that. Maybe it's turning off your laptop. Maybe it's moving everything back into its home office, back into where it belongs, away from your family life and your personal life. Take time to tidy daily. And that's something, but at the end of the day, that's something I take a moment to just set myself up for success tomorrow. That includes tidying up the office a little bit, making sure I've got my laptop plugged in, taking the time to do that, tossing papers, whatever it may be, so you can set up and in the morning you can drink your coffee and ease your way back into it. Be selective. That's something too about what is in your office, what's surrounding you, what is, and Mabel, I'm going to keep bringing you here because I believe in that. What's bringing you joy? Also, we're going to talk a little bit in regards to some of the paper and the digital declutter that we bring into our lives, those invaders, and how we can be a little bit more selective about that, because it's just so much for our brains to process, and we get overwhelmed. Psychologically, this is a technique, and I hope some of you are probably already practicing this and don't realize it, but at the end of the day, I like to do a brain dump. Or if I'm, feeling stressed about something, or, my to-do list keeps adding on, I literally just write everything down, or, there's different apps for it, but get everything out of your brain. So separate it from your body, place it someplace else so that you can really compartmentalize and focus on, what's important to you in the moment. Another thing that we see is that and especially when I go into clients, they'll give me their whole life story. They'll show me their home. They'll tell me everything that's wrong. And it's the same thing. It's a project. And my guess is that when you're getting requirements for work, or you're working with a client, is that you've got a huge project. So really, that doesn't work well in a to-do list, because you don't ever feel like you're achieving something or crossing it off. So really try to separate that master project list from your to-do list and breaking it into concrete steps. What can you work on Friday? Let's pick 3 things from this master project. Committing and containerizing. That's another thing with decluttering. We don't always make it a priority. We don't fit it into our work day. For me, if I go to the gym, I don't go to the gym, let's be real. If I was going to exercise, that's something I have to write it in my planner. It doesn't happen. And I have to, for me, I need an accountability partner. I need a friend that's going to go with me, and I'm committed. But so often, we don't carve out the time for it. So we carve out time for other things. We carve out time for Facebook, for scrolling, whatever it may be. But I would like for you to get in the practice of really carving out like a manageable amount of time, 30 to 60 minutes. Maybe it's 10 minutes tidying a day. Put it in your planner or put it in your phone and go for it, and follow it. Another technique that I like to do, and this can, again, apply to the household itself, is bucket days. So let's say, on Fridays before the weekend, I have a bucket day where I work on sorting my paperwork. You can do this with anything, on Wednesdays, we do laundry. On Thursdays, fill in the blank. So setting a bucket day, and again, committing to it, containerizing your time. And when I say that, it's not just because I'm an organizer and I like to contain things. It's really about putting in a time, 2:30 to 3 o'clock. Emotionally, this is the one thing when people call me, they're at that state of overwhelm more often than not. I want you to start small. And I know we were talking about a medicine cabinet. So that may not be your small, but that may be some for someone else. If you're working in an office, consider working on committing to one pile, committing to one drawer, or one category of items in the office, whatever it may be. Commit to that. Containerize your time. Say, I'm going to give 30 minutes to this task, set a timer, and when you're done, reward yourself. Ladies, I can't stop talking enough. We are so hard on each other. Self-talk is huge. I know it's drilled into us. It was drilled into me, as a social worker, the self-talk, self-care, but we are so hard on ourselves. And, my mantra through all of this COVID stuff has been, I'm doing the best I can. I'm really doing the best I can. And, give yourself some credit. Really give yourself some credit. I also want to tell you another thing is we have this perfection in us a lot of us do. That perfectionism piece is very, very common with my clients, and I struggle with it myself too. So start figuring out something. If you're thinking everything's got to be perfect, it's got to be like the Instagram photos, it's got to be the perfect filing system. Remember, done is better than perfect, and don't let perfect get in the way of doing good. And again, I can't tell you enough stress that if you are organizing, it's hard work and harder for some, especially if you've got ADD, you've got depression, you've got a lot of life demands. Please take care of yourself, reward yourself, do something fun, and walk away. It's all about self-preservation. All right, all papers are not created equally. This is something serious. I am very anti-paper, and I am very much like Mabel. I would want to go KonMari on my papers and get rid of them all if I could. But we tend to keep things that we don't need to. We're going to talk a little bit more. And on your sheet, there's a list of, different schools of thought on what to do with papers, which ones are important. But I'm going to tell you that the papers that pile up are just avoided decisions, and I want you to try to fight the need to file or pile. When those papers are coming in, figure out where they're going to go. And again, we're going to talk a little bit about what do we file? Where does it go? But try to make decisions now. I have a thing where mail doesn't even make it into my house without me going through, scanning through, taking inventory, getting rid of all the junk, recycling it. That's just something that's so easy to let it pile up. Pull out all those brochures, those coupons, the things you don't want, pull out the envelopes, pull out all the promotional items before it even comes in the house. Again, it's paper's an invader. Form flexible file systems. And I've seen this is that we tend to get really granular with our file systems, and that gets in the way. And I will say that's something when I'm working on file systems for some folks, that works better for their brain. They want things to be granular or very detailed, but be true to yourself. Are you going to be able to maintain a file system with everything separate, or does it make more sense to have your auto together, have your insurance together, have your medical all together, all the EOBs or whatever it may be, all in one folder. The good news is that even if you're not granular, if you're doing this and you're having a more flexible, broad file system, is you don't have to look too far. You're going to be able to find it. And let's be real, how many times are you going back to those files? Like I said, I'm with Mabel. Go KonMari on your papers. Papers are the gift that keep on giving. I work with a lot of older adults as well. And it's only going to get worse, ladies. It's only going to get worse. So help yourself now. One of the simple, just as far as for sorting papers and paper management, one of the simplest systems is the File Act Toss system. So the file system talks about things that you have to keep. Those are going to be your taxes, your legal documents, social security cards, etc. They're also going to be things maybe you want to have as a point of reference. Maybe it's your medical records. Maybe for clients, it's their client documentation. What you're going to find there's a whole lot of just in case in there, just in case I need it, just in case for the future. Also, if you're finding yourself, you're getting into a situation where you're getting those piles, consider starting a to be filed folder. So that's something that I'm going to file later. Maybe I don't want to file it right now, but I'm going to containerize my time and I file on Fridays. Figure out what that bucket day is. Acts, those are the papers that require an action. So you've got to call, you've got to email, there's got to be some sort of follow-up. These are the worst kinds, because they don't just end there. These are some things, the axe papers, they want to keep visual. We want to keep them upward. We want to keep them, likely at our fingertips. You may have a bulletin board or a command center of some place that will remind us of that. So those are things you definitely don't want to file away until you've completed some sort of action. Again, get vertical, think upward. Instead of piling, I'm going to show you some different products that you can use, using up that wall space, using up a desktop organizer so that you can see what you have. And lastly, toss. And that's the stuff that we need to recycle, we need to shred, or maybe even burn, depending on where you're at in your life path. Again, something is to shredding. I want to say if you have kids, this is a great activity for them to do. What kid wouldn't love to play with a shredder? Also want to say that, if it's something where you're finding your shred, have a shred bin and a recycle bin close to your, trash bin. So a 3-part system in your office. Also, if you're at a point where you've I've got all this shred, take it somewhere. Don't sit there and shred it. Your time is too valuable. You can pay 99 cents to $1.49 a pound and take it to Office Depot, Staples, UPS, and other big top office stores. All right, so we're going to talk about how to get a little bit more defensive about paper, as well as a little bit about digitizing. If you want to go ahead and pull out that paper and digital declutter handout, and I know I'm getting short on time, so I'm not going to go through this in depth, but these are some different things to minimize the paper income. Some of them are free, some of them are low cost. Many of them are free on there, but Paper Karma is one that's great. You can take a photo, they do all the work for you. Camcard's awesome. Someone hands you a business card, you take a photo, it uploads, you can share contacts. LastPass, I'm telling you, if you're still writing down your passwords, it's time, ladies. It's time. Figure out LastPass keeps a vault and records all your passwords for you. Of course, digitizing, and I want to give a shout out. My digital organizer is on right now, and she's also my personal assistant, Shannon Robertson, with Shannon Digital Organizing. She's helping me. She's teaching me about CRMs. She's teaching me, hey, Kate, this is this feature in Dropbox. But if you aren't using something digital for your files, consider it. It's a time saver. You're going to save lots of space. Also, the e-sign, we're working on that right now. And I'll tell you, it's a little bit at a time. There's a lot this business owner needs to tend to. Also, the project and team management, I'm starting to dabble around with those some. And then for email, let's declutter the email. That's another one. And let's set a bucket day for that, because think of all those subscriptions. Unroll Me is an app you can get on, and they're going to help you unsubscribe from those. So real quick, let's talk about saving your space. And, I threw in some organizing terms there. So you'll hear us talk a lot about getting vertical. We want to use up that vertical space, get visual. So that's something, I know there was mention of the clear acrylics. I always encourage clients, when you can do clear, it's great. If there's things you want hidden, maybe it's your taxes, you don't want to look at your taxes, I'd say put them in the basement for now, but only for as long as you need them. So it's okay to contain some of the things you don't regularly need to see, but make sure that you're labeling. You will forget what's in there, trust me. I threw up some different ideas there. Of course, I love the Container Store, I love IKEA, but you can find lots of this stuff on Amazon, Target, or local stores. But magazine rack files, wall filers, file sorters, letter trays, those are all great ways to use up some vertical space. Utility carts are great. They're mobile. You can bring them over, have them close to your office. If you want to, maybe get cozy on the couch, you can bring that with you, your office with you. Again, the command center we talk about a lot, and the pegboards, those are great things. And you can actually get compartments to add there and add some of your office supplies. File totes are great. That's something, I don't keep my taxes and the things that I don't need access to close to me. And I am working on digitizing all of that. Now let's take a look at some of those words. When you're searching for things, you're shopping, I want you to think, vertical, stackable, hanging, mounting. That's going to help with some of that vertical space. If you're looking for, accessibility, handled, rolling, portable, moving, these are all things that you're going to be able to craft, and you're going to be able to customize and have a little bit more freedom to use it how you want to use it. Anytime you're going to buy organizing products, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone into a home and they've got all the products there and they're not sure how to use them, or they're ready to order products, but they haven't decluttered first. Please declutter, take inventory, group your like items together. Always measure. People want to jump the gun and order the pretty stuff, but measure and make sure it's going to fit on your shelf or in your space. Do your research, read your reviews, and ladies, please do not feel guilty about making returns. Whoops, there's my timer. That was aggressive. Um, so please save your receipts. And if you need to, I have no shame in my return game. I am not a problem with returns. Again, with that stuff's just going to sit. It's not going to be put to use, and it's going to take up your valuable space. If you need more help, please reach out. I don't want you all to feel stuck. So I'm going to open it up now for questions.
Thank you so much. And I keep wanting to call you Moxie. So if I say,
I'm open to changing my name.
You're so cute. You look like
okay.
maybe that might actually be your first name. Like, I love your glasses and your whole style. So I'm going to monitor the chat here with questions as they come in. And one person asked, while you were whipping away all your great information, she asked, how do you organize the random cord box? And I kind of feel her. I got a drawer and it hurts a little bit.
We're talking about just like, okay, because cords are like, I'll tell you too, my nemesis, we're talking about it. You guys brought me into this. The cords and papers, they're the worst.
Yeah.
There are things, so let's say you've got your office hooked up. There's different things for cord control. You can actually install things, like you see in more of the not industrial or other offices in an actual office space. They make, if you use what you have, if you've got, twisty ties, rolling them up, but they do make, it's a really cool thing. And I bring them with me when I'm working, just always to have on hand, and you can buy them, anywhere, but it's just a little wrap with a Velcro on it. So you wrap it around to control some of those cords. I do, and I will tell you, I do have a cord box. I am one, and I think, part of it's my father would tell me, my father's ingrained it in me that I have to have this cord box, but I did go through and declutter it, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. I don't even think they make that anymore, So as far as the cords go, really taking a look at which ones you use. If there's certain ones you need to have accessible, keeping those closer. If you're doing presentations, I have my cord pack. I have a little container with all my cords in it, ready to go for all those technical, when I was out presentations, those technical difficulties of how do I hook this up. But literally, there's a little thing, you wrap the cord up, don't overthink it. It doesn't have to look like the Instagram photos, wrap it up with Velcro. I hope that answers your question.
I found that to be very helpful. And then I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the flexible file systems. I know you kind of said auto, and does that mean like with your auto file, you would just throw all things related to your car or house, or how would you kind of, because I'm so used to the A through Z, right? Like,
yeah, but those systems are hard to maintain. And what I see is you're like, well, this could go in this file or it could go in that file. And now I don't know what file to put it in. So, and you're making more labels and you're doing, you know what I mean? And it's a hard system to track. So for me, it's like all the autos in one. So I've got my insurance in there. I keep my title in my car, but all the insurance is in there. You've got, if you've got repairs, things like that. So all into one. Health stuff. Let's think, all of those explanation of benefits. I'm digital. So I would say, for me, these are digital files that I'll keep together. But, for it's the same for paper files. So looking at, if it's medical, like having a medical folder that, has your EOBs, explanations of benefits, take away all that bulk stuff, all the disclaimers they give you, has some of your important records, as well as your insurance information. So, it's more about, again, less granular. So it's like, these are where all my EOBs go. This is where this one goes. It's like, no, I know how to look in the medical file, because how often do you go back to those? And a lot of those you can access online now. That's a big one. I have one of my favorite folders is called Dispute This Shit. So if I like, that's a thing, if I have an issue with the credit card company, medical bill, I feel like going Karen for some reason, like I'm like, okay, that's in my dispute folder, so I know that these are things I really need to follow up on that could easily fall through the cracks and end up losing money. Make the names of the folders work for you. You know what I mean? Use something that's a good trigger word for your brain. It doesn't have to be like what the bloggers are saying it needs to be. Have it be something that's going to work for you.
Dispute this shit. That is going to be my new favorite file. It's going to be.
That's my Moxie takeaway.
Oh, that is definitely an amazing.
Because I was hesitant to swear, but I'm like, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
We're okay.
Well, oh my God, that's so great. See, your name really should be Moxie. So, well, thank you so much. That was super amazing. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mabel with Spark Joy in Michigan. So let me just get her pinned here and unmuted and all that great stuff. And then Mabel, when you are ready, you can take it away.
All right, thank you. Oh, that was wonderful listening to you, Kate, and learning how to tidy paper and the office Moxie style. So I'm going to share a little bit more about kitchen with you guys now. And let me share my screen here with you to pull up my slide. All right. Do everybody see that now? All good? Perfect. So today I'm going to share with you life-changing magic of tidying up and focusing in kitchen organizing. I am a certified KonMari consultant, and right now there are about 500 in the whole world, and I'll go into talking about more of what that means. So I have some goal of today. First one is have fun and win prize. Maria already started off telling us some requirement of how we can get virtual tidying session, in-person tidying session with our 3 organizers today. I also put down the criteria on the handout that you have. It's a printable participant guide that you should have in your email. It's about 4 pages long. So take a picture of your completed guide as you go, and then email that to me and share your workshop experience, and the winner will be picked out next week. Then we'll move on to learning more about the KonMari method tidying your kitchen. We'll do some KonMari folding today as well. So I hope you have some of your kitchen towels or any size towels ready by you. We're talking about cord management. We also find our charging cords and headphones sometimes in our kitchen drawer as well. So have those handy. We'll be going through that in a little bit. And one of my goals is to help you become motivated to start your own tidying journey so that you can spark joy in your home and in your kitchen. And I want to share one of my favorite quote with you from Marie Kondo. The moment you start tidying, you reset your life. A lot of things are out of our control right now, but we can control the surrounding in our home, especially kitchen right now is such a high traffic area, right? Our entire family is in there. The clutter is just anything that's standing in the way of you living your ideal lifestyle, living your best life. Japanese art and organized back in 2011, and this first released in Japan 2014. It got its first US and became a big hit within a year. It's not something that you need to do every day and all the time. You do it once and it's done. If you have Netflix, this show is still on. It's called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. You can still see Marie in action with her clients, step by step, how to tidy KonMari style, so that you can do it just once and not again. Last year in April, she published Joy at Work, talking about how to bring joy in our work life. So a little bit about me. I am Mabel. I'm born and raised in Hong Kong. It's a very, very small city with a lot of people living in there. By college, I moved to Sweden, and I got a lot of international traveling experience through my school and my work, and really packing suitcases of exactly what I need. And then by about 10 years ago, I settled down in the US, and I thought, wow, how great would it be to align my strengths in organization with my career? I really wanted to always do something that can contribute meaningfully and bring joy to others. And when I heard about Marie Kondo and the joy method, I just thought that this a perfect alignment. So what does it mean by being a certified KonMari consultant? I am right now a certified bronze level, meaning I've totally tidy with my clients over 270 hours. And I, besides just tidying in person, I also am doing virtual tidying and helping people stage, sell, and move in real estate. And I love when it's ready to travel to help you pack your perfect suitcase to go traveling. And also a Spark Joy workshop, a workshop just like this, speaking and presenting and just sharing the KonMari method with others. So let's go right into page 2 of your participant guides, and we'll be talking about the 6 basic rules of tidying for kitchen. Rule number 1. So if you have your pen ready, you can fill that in your blank, your page right there. The first rule is commit yourself to tidying up. Just like Kate was talking about, just really set out that time block in your calendar to remind yourself and set aside this time. The KonMari method is not a quick fix for cluttered kitchen or once in a while approach to tidying. It's a chance to reset your entire life, but only if you commit to following its principles. It's a chance to it's a chance for you to really look at what you love and keep what you love only. So I recommend doing it, setting aside a 3 to 5 hours window. It sounds a lot, but think about really taking all the things out of your kitchen drawers and shelves, being able to look at them and then put them away. That is a good chunk of time. So an hour or so here and there is not going to be enough. So the 3 to 5 is the magic number. So gather everything and put them back. That takes time. When you approach your tidying festival with a clear vision in mind and a can-do attitude, you'll find the energy and motivation you need to tidy all your kitchen belongings in one go. And not only will you experience the joy of cooking and eating with the objects you love, but you will also be on the path of establishing your ideal lifestyle. Rule number 2, imagine your dream kitchen. Think about what kind of kitchen you want to cook and entertain in, and the things you want to do in your space. In other words, describe your dream kitchen. If you like drawing, sketch out what it looks like. If you prefer to write, describe it in a notebook. You can also cut out photos from magazines, or if you're tech savvy, create some collages of your ideal kitchen. I like to use Pinterest and House for my virtual collage board, vision board. And when you imagine your dream kitchen, you're really clarifying why you want to tidy and envisioning your best life. Rule number 3, finish discarding first. As you begin your kitchen organizing adventure using the KonMari method, remember to focus on what you want to keep. Cherish the item that brings you joy and let go of the rest with gratitude. Discarding is not the point of the KonMari method, but it is an important part of the process because it gives you a chance to learn from your past experiences. Let's say if you let go of a belonging you never used, it just taught you that it had no purpose for something like that in your life. So thinking deeply about each item that you let go will affect how you want to live and acquire new things moving forward. And I want to give you a personal example. When I map out my ideal lifestyle, there's one spot in there that says I want to take a cup of coffee every day with a fresh pastry. And I see myself doing that pastry from a coffee shop. And that just tells me why when I was cleaning up, organizing my kitchen, I had all this baking supplies and bakeware that I never use. So that gave me the motivation to let go of a lot of things, to really minimize all this baking pans and mixer that I don't use and just taking up space. You know what? I'd rather go down the street to the corner bakery shop and get one pastry that I love. And that was enough for me. On a practical level, discarding first also allow you to have an accurate grasp of how much actually needs to be stored. So when Kate was talking about, really measure and weight to buy your containers, and that's so true, because when we talk about organizing, the first thing we want to do is, I'm going to go out to the store and get a bunch of bins and baskets and see what can fit in there. No, it's really reversing that and seeing, hey, what do I want to keep in my home? What do I need in this space? And then seeing that quantity, I'm going to go out and shop for the best storage that I need. Rule number 4 is tidy by category, not by location. People often store the same type of item in more than one place. So when you tidy each place separately, you're repeating the same work in many locations. You're more likely to keep the serving platters in your kitchen. If you don't take into account of the stockpile in the basement, pantry, or how about that secret party storage bin that we all have. The result is that you become locked in a never-ending cycle of tidying. So gather all your cutlery and put them in a pile. Take a picture. And the benefit is that you can see everything you have. Imagine all your silverware in a pile. You'll probably be shocked by how much you own. You'll be ready to choose what to keep with a calm mind. So what are the KonMari categories? And that's rule number 5. Follow the right order. So on your participant guide, you have the same diagram here, and you can fill out this different categories by the correct order. The first one is clothing. Then we go to books, papers, komono, that's Japanese for miscellaneous item. And lastly, sentimental item. And the order in which you are tidy is crucial. And take it from Marie Kondo. She landed on this vital step of the KonMari method after conducting hours of tidying lessons with clients. And tidying your belongings in this order has proven to be the most efficient and effective. And by starting with clothes first, which is relatively easy, ending with sentimental item, which is challenging, you hone your decision-making skills as you go. And at the end, choosing what to keep seems simple. Rule number 6 is ask yourself if it sparks joy. I love this picture here with a little girl holding her shirt. So identify what brings you joy by comparing this to. Does an item give you a joy level of 5 heart? Look at her face, she's so happy, versus something that gives you maybe only 2.5. In the KonMari method, your feelings are the standard of decision making, specifically knowing what sparks joy. So focusing on on things that you want to keep and not what you want to let go. Because what to keep spark joy and what to discard create an unhappy feeling when you're just focusing on that. Imagine when we think about organizing, we probably go right into that cluttered drawer and start pulling out things that we don't need. KonMari tells you to reverse that order. Get everything out, only put back in what sparks joy. Which item deserves that perfect, precious real estate in your kitchen drawer? And so how do we choose what sparks joy? The key is to touch each object one by one and ask yourself quietly, does this spark joy? Looking at it is not enough. Pay attention to how your body responds. And joy is personal. So everyone will experience it a little differently. Marie described it as a little thrill. If your cells in your body are uplifted. When you pick up an object that does not spark joy, you would feel that your cells are down and heavy. And through the process of selecting only those things that inspire joy, you can identify precisely what you love and what you need. So we're going to go into some KonMari folding. So have your kitchen towels and your charging cord headphones handy if you want to follow by me. If not, that's okay as well. First, we're going to look at kitchen towel. So a lot of you, probably you have to imagine this is your kitchen drawer and we're folding towels traditional way in a stack manner. Kate talked about vertical storage, and it is so true. It can apply to everything in our home. When we store our towels horizontally, not only do they get wrinkle, and clothes as well, they get wrinkle, and when you flip through them, very likely you might miss a few pieces and they get all cluttery. We don't want that. Look at how full it is, and we're gonna do some magic to transform it. So first, you'll lay your towel flat, and then you'll fold it like this 2 times. This way you'll smooth out all the wrinkle as well. And then you pull the end up, but be careful not to go over it, the edge here. And then depends on that, your drawer, you can just fold 2 times and it can stand up on its own. And just remember that I forgot to stop my presentation so you can see it full screen right here. Hang on just a second. All right. Now do you guys see me full screen? So, huh? Sorry?
I said we do see you full screen.
Perfect. Thanks, Maria. So let's do it again until we get all these ones done. By the time we look at how all these things are folded, you'll be a master yourself. Another way I love this folding method of towel is that when you're ready to take it out, is ready to go, you'll hang your towel just like that. So on our towel rack, maybe your dishwasher, maybe your oven, once you unfold it halfway, your kitchen towel is ready to go in presentation mode, just like that. I want you guys to see, this was the original kitchen drawer. Look at how much space we're saving. And that allows you to pick out exactly the one you need, exactly the one you like. And for cords and headphones, I like to use dividers and just tuck the whole divider into my kitchen drawer or your office drawer, just like that. All right. So I'm going to take some questions now. If you have anything regarding kitchen organization, let's talk more about storage as well. You can type it in the box, you can unmute and ask as well.
We had a couple questions come in. So someone did ask if you ever fold the ends inside or always the folded end. So it's Jess Fields. She might need to clarify that a little bit better, but I was just kind of curious about that one too. So I think she was just asking about the folding method, if there's different ways that you can do that.
I have my towel right here that I folded, and it's the ends. Like the end is on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if that's okay to do that too, or if there was a reason why it's from the other way.
No, as long as it stand up, you're making that perfect rectangle. It's all good.
Awesome.
Good job. It looks great, Jess.
Thanks.
And then we had a couple questions about pantry organization, and even someone who says, I'm having trouble controlling my pantry. And I feel you on that one. So maybe you could chat with us a little bit about pantry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When my clients ask me about pantry, I throw them a question back and say, what are your eating and cooking habits? Think about what kind of food you want to bring into the house. Let's say for some people, they might be thinking about, I'm going to be more whole food conscientious. For some people, there might be, I want some quick meals I can provide for my whole family that are healthy and easy to make. And then when you have this focus, it really helps you decide on what kind of food and cooking supplies you'll bring into the home. In that way, when you look at your pantry, everything in there is in complete alignment with your values and habits.
Awesome. And then, of course, the dreaded junk drawer. So how do we organize the junk drawer? Like
the answer is,
go ahead.
do not allow a junk drawer in your home. Your home is so precious that nowhere does it deserve a junk drawer. Junk drawer is a place where things have no home, or we don't have time to put that away. I'm allowing a pending space, just like Kate was talking about. You have a to-do pile for things that, and it's very limited, you know, don't allow yourself a whole drawer. This is my to-do pile. And when I have time, I'm gonna put them away to their best home. In the KonMari method, it's very simple. You only need to make 2 decisions in your life. One is what item spark joy. 2, when you find that spark joy item, where's the best home for this item in your house? That's it.
I like that. And then we have just time for maybe one more question, but about bags of food. And I know this is tough because a lot of, you know, I am a parent and I do a lot of shopping at Costco and everything comes in a bag.
Yeah, I do a lot of shopping at Costco too, and it's crazy. With bags, you ask yourself, do bags bother you? If they do, you know that it doesn't spark joy, right? So one way to do it is that I'm gonna lose that box, I'm gonna lose that bag and transfer it to a different container. Another way to do it, Marie always loves to do, recommend this, is remove the label. Label is visual clutter. we can tidy however we want, but at the end of the day, if we still see those colors, those brand names, those are just noises that will be a little bit distracting to our eyes.
All right. Well, thank you very, very much. That was fantastic. And now I'm going to turn it over here to Michelle Krick. If you could just unshare your screen real quick, and then I should be able to get Michelle up here.
Absolutely.
All right, Michelle.
Am I up?
You are up, girl.
Okay, I keep getting this weird buzzing. So if anyone hears it, sorry. So I am so excited to talk Closet Org today. So my name is Michelle Krick. I own Michelle Krick Style. And I am actually not just an organizer, it's a component of what I do. I am actually a personal stylist. And my job is to not only organize a closet that you're going to wear and love, but it's actually about understanding what's in your closet. Does it serve you well? Does it make you feel great? When you wear it, do you feel like you're delivering your own personal brand? Is it your style? And if it's not, then that's what goes out of your closet. So organizing is so important to your closet and how you get dressed. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, because basically it's not just about having clothes in your closet. It's how you organize it to make yourself get dressed in the morning much easier, much faster, and where you actually feel like what you have in your closet puts together outfits that you love. So I'm gonna pop up my share screen. Okay, let's see. Okay, so can you see it? Is it there?
Yep, you got it.
All right, great. So the key is building a closet that feels like it represents your style. It's about building a closet of love and building confidence. So I've been in the retail business for well over 30 years. My background is mainly in corporate, and it's been working with buying offices and putting together assortments for you to buy in the stores. So when I started this personal styling business, it's interesting because it's very similar to what I did as a buyer, as a DMM. You're basically building a closet of items you want to have in your closet. So it builds your style and it builds a closet that you absolutely love. The point of organizing the closet has to be done in the way it works for your space. Every one of you has different space. Every one of you has a different amount of space and amount of clothes. And so there is not one style that works, but I'm going to go through a couple of high level things that can work for all of you, but then you have to cater it to how your space is and the amount of clothes you have. So the first thing I always talk about when you're going to organize your closet, before you can make choices, if you want to get rid of something or not, you have to define your style. So does your closet represent what you want to put out to the world? Or is it representing who you want to be? And every time you put an outfit on, you feel great about it. That's the first step you have to ask, because you can't just go in your closet and start organizing, because the fact is, how do you edit? How do you know what to keep? How do you organize it in the way it works? So a lot of us have different things that make us happy. Some of it is more the clothing pieces. Other is accessories. A lot of us are shoes. And so those things matter when you're talking about defining your style, because those items matter in how you organize your closet. Step 2 is going to be edit. Edit, edit, edit. It is such a long conversation about editing. It's not easy. It's not always fun. There is a lot of emotion tied to getting rid of something. You know, you've spent money on it, you've invested in it, but the fact is you need to let things go that don't work for you. And what happens is we have all these things in our closet and we end up holding on to them because we think we have to. But imagine a closet of love. That's really what I believe is the most important thing, is a closet of love. And like I said, you feel good wearing the items that you have. So a couple things about editing that I would say you want to start with. Number one, if it doesn't fit your style, then that's an easy thing to edit. So I'm going to give you an example. What if you used to be boho style, but now you're a little more on the classic side and cleaner lines? Well, if you're hanging on to this boho style and it doesn't work for you, what good is it doing you? When you have too many things in your closet, you can't actually see the things you love. You know that 80-20 rule? You wear really 20% of the items that you have, and you know that falls into so many categories, the 80-20 rule. But in many cases, you have your favorites and that's what you're wearing. And so that's what you want to really own and spend your time really nurturing and loving, because that's what makes you feel good when you wear it. So do you feel good in it, and does it fit your style? Those are two really important things. I see a lot of closets with items with a lot of different sizes. And so we all know that we don't keep the same size all the time, or when you buy something, you know, COVID has definitely added a little extra on many of us. And one of the things I get a lot of questions on with my clients is, well, these things don't fit, these don't fit. So there's a couple things. Number one, do not have a closet of items with things that don't fit. You want to have a closet of items that actually fit. So my suggestion is pull out the items that don't fit right now, and then you look at those items and make a decision. So if those items are working for you and you love them, but you don't want to get rid of them and you think you're going to wear them again, whether it's up or down in size, it doesn't matter, then pull those pieces out and put them in another closet. What that's going to do for you is it's going to let you know that they're there, but what you have in your real closet are items you're actually going to wear and love. And that is the most important thing. There's nothing that's more frustrating than when you go in a closet and you love this piece and you're like, oh, I can't wear that right now, it's not fitting right or anything. It kind of affects your mental. And so that's why it's important not to have to look at that every day, because if you do have the pieces that make you feel good every day, you will feel better. And that's really the most important thing. Clothes are there to, you know, put your vision out to the world and make you feel better. And it's exciting to, I mean, who doesn't love to strut their stuff in an outfit that they love? It just feels good. When I put this necklace on today, you guys, I mean, I was pretty excited about it. It's just a simple necklace. It wasn't even expensive, but it's just fun. And that's what clothes are meant to do for you, is get you excited and get you feeling good. So get rid of the pieces that don't fit. Now you're going to see a closet that things that fit. Now you make decisions on, do I feel good in it? Is it my style? Do I get rid of it? You know, all those things. The other thing I see happen is I see a closet full of a lot of tags. And I shared this in the Facebook group this week, but in case you didn't get a chance, I really wanted to share it here. And it is a really important component of editing. You don't need to edit if you actually don't put things in there that you don't love. So in other words, when you buy something, don't put it in your closet. Keep it out so you can see it. And that forces you to make a decision. You either wear it or you return it. And so you're not going to end up with a closet full of items sitting in there that have tags on it. And then 3 months later, you find it, you're like, oh my God. And then you wear it and you don't love it. Now it's too late to return it. So it's a really good way to make sure that you're not wasting money, and that what you are spending your money on are items that you will actually wear and keep. So that's really the editing process of what I do with my clients. We also focus on how to wear it. So if you have something in your closet that you don't love, but it's all about that you don't know how to style it, that's a whole different problem than you don't love it. So that's where you want to find someone to help you style it, or figure out a way, or go to Pinterest, look anywhere to say, I love this shirt, but if I know how to wear it, I would wear it. That's okay to keep. Don't get rid of those things, because that means you're just getting rid of something that you spent money on, but it actually will make you happy if you figure that piece of it out. So then your third step is organize as you wear your clothes. So I have a little different mindset of how you should organize your closet than a lot of people, but it also is based on the fact that it's really about the stylist component of it and how you're wearing it. So one of the things that are pretty basic is to organize by color. So everybody knows that, everybody follows that. That's definitely not going to change. But the bottom line is that I organize separating some certain things out. So organize, pull your basics out. And I see a lot of people hanging their basics or folding their basics, I'm going to suggest that you always hang your basics. And what I mean by that is when they are folded and rumpled up and you pull them back out and you're actually using that to be under a blazer, then you're having to iron it, or it's not as nice as it can be because it's not hanging. So I like to hang a lot of my basics that are being worn as a fashion piece and an item. If it's just a layering tank, you can hang that or fold that. But if it's something that truly is being seen, hang it. So basics, they get a separate section because then when you are getting dressed, you're just grabbing what you need as a basic. Your fashion tops are all together and they're organized by color. There's a couple ways to do that. You can go small tanks, short sleeve, long sleeve, or if you don't have a ton of fashion tops, you just want to go all of it by color. Because you're going to choose, I'm ready to wear a black top today because I have these cute little plaid pants. So you're going to go to the black session. Do you want a tank? Do you want a short sleeve, a long sleeve? It's very, very simple. If you own a ton of clothes, then organizing by short and long is a really good way to do it. You want to organize your layering pieces separate. So this is one thing I always have a conversation with every client with. I see their layering pieces organized in with everything else. So in other words, their cardigan, their blazer, everything, it's just put in there. So it may be organized all by color. But the way you get dressed is you grab a top, you grab a bottom, and you grab a layering piece. And that's really how you can easily make an outfit. So if your layering pieces are all separated, then, and they should be all together. Your blazers, your cardigans, your dusters, it doesn't matter what it is. They should be all together colorized. So now you have your basics here, you have your fashion tops here, and you have your layering pieces here. And then you organize your pants. And your pants are just organized by color. If you can hang your leggings and they're fashion leggings, go ahead and hang them because it makes it really easy to see what you have. A lot of times folded gets lost. And over and over again, when I work in clients' closets, we find so many great things folded and I will hang most of them. So that is just kind of a guideline for not losing what you have. Sometimes you don't have the space, you have to make different decisions, but if you have the space. And then jeans. I'm a huge fan of hanging jeans. So most of the time when I work with my clients, I see only the jeans on their top of their stack they're wearing, the last two. And then the bottom stack gets lost. And then all of a sudden they're old by the time you see them and get used to them. So here's my favorite thing for jeans. If you hang your jeans and you hang them by length, you start to see this. They go from short length to long length. So it matters because when you're wearing certain shoes, you wear a different legging. A fitted boot is going to go over a skinny jean. You've got the crop trend right now with the taller boots that go in there. That matters. And so it's just a really great way to see what you have. The other important thing about why we organize like the way I just described it, the whole clothing component, is that when you organize that way, you start to build lists of items you need to purchase that fills in. So when your clothing is just organized and put all together, you really can't see what you need to buy. And then you'll tend to stay buying the same things you already have because it's just comfortable for you. Well, if you have it organized and you have all your basics together and you notice you don't have a great white tank or white tee, that becomes something you put on a list and you look for it shopping. What about that category of layering pieces? If they are not together, my guess is you're 90% black and you got a couple other colors in there. And that is most people that I go in their closet, right? And some people who love color, you can see more, but you tend to go back and try to buy another black. Well, when you really start seeing it this way, you start to see that you probably have more than you think. And if you don't love it, that's when you get rid of it and put it on your list. But when you can see how much black you have, you might choose to go down the path and strategically shop for something else. So, okay, I'm going to move into jewelry now. So if you guys have any questions of any of this as we're doing it, put it in the, oops, see, I'm not very good at this part of it. Okay, how do I do this? I lost my big view. Oh, slideshow. Okay. I can't get my thing to move. All right, I got it. Okay. All right, so let's go into accessories. How many of you, and I can't see all of you, but I'm going to assume 90% are raising their hands, kind of just have an area of accessories that are thrown together, that are not, you're not respecting your accessories, you can't see them all, you don't utilize them to take your outfit up to another level, and that is not unusual for most. The bottom line is your jewelry, handbags, and shoes should be respected. Treat them with respect, love them, because they elevate your look and they help create the style you're trying to get out there. So for jewelry, I'm going to give you a couple ideas. There's lots of choices. This one really comes down to the space you have. You can use a drawer, you can use your top of a dresser. There's lots of ways to do this. So you're going to have to do this mainly based on what you actually have for your space. So you're going to create an area if you can. You're going to start with the jewelry board. Jewelry boards are amazing. So you just take a board and you use pins, and you're going to hang your necklaces. And the most important thing for this is you're going to organize by color. So your gold, your silver, and you're going to organize by smaller to chunkier. So what that does, again, it's all about creating an opportunity for strategic shopping, because you don't want to go shopping not knowing what you need, because then you start buying things that you don't need, you already have, or that it's duplication. So the jewelry board is amazing because you can actually truly see your necklaces. And when you're getting dressed, you grab your top, your bottom, you grab your layering piece, and then you just see all your jewelry and you pop one on that works and you're out the door. Earring stands are also a must, or trays for earrings. So it depends on the space you have. But I love the standing earring trays that allow you to put your earrings featured exactly the way I just described your jewelry or your necklaces. You're going to organize by color, and you're organized by silver and gold. And then you organize, let's say you have a lot of black, or you have a lot of gold, cream earrings or bright earrings. Like, you organize by that and you can see what you have a lot of. A ring holder is amazing. I see rings sitting in drawers. I see them sitting in trays that are just thrown together. The ring holders where you can actually see your rings, you will wear them so much more. And just note that they can be fashion pieces too. And then bracelet holders. There's a couple different ways to do the bracelet holders. You can do the ones where you can actually put them on a holder, or you can put them in a tray. It really depends on how many you have. So when you have the jewelry, there's always going to be one you love more. Do you love necklaces? Do you love earrings? Do you love bracelets? One thing is going to be your vibe. That should be your hero of the presentation you create. And then you work around it with the rest of the pieces. But the bottom line is, if you can't see it, you're not wearing it. And getting tangled and getting mismatched of your earrings, all those things allow you to not wear it. And we really are trying to basically solve for that. Handbags. So handbags, some people switch them out, some people do not. So there's a couple things I want to call out on handbags. Number one, you want to treat them as a work of art. They are beautiful. They carry so much, they make you happy. Most handbags are kind of special. And we aren't afraid to spend a little more on a handbag because we know we're going to have it and we invest in it and it means something. But what you don't want to do is throw it around. So if you change out your handbags, or if you have some that you're not wearing in the winter because they're winter bags and it's summer, you want to stuff tissue in them to keep their shape. That really allows them not to get creases in the leather. And that's really a way to keep your handbags nice. And I love to put those on a shelf. So if you have a place that you can feature them and you can showcase them a little bit, it's just such a beautiful way to admire the handbags and the investments that you've made. If that doesn't work, you can put them in totes, meaning like individual, but you just don't want to lose them. And you don't want to not, I see everybody putting their totes in bins and all this stuff. And the fact is, then they don't change them out and they don't utilize their handbag to help with their outfit. And then I found this awesome hanger, and it's great for crossbodies, and it's a handbag hanger. And you can actually, it's got, so a lot of times crossbodies are hard to store. So you can actually, it's like a hanger that has a little guide to it, and you just hang it on the hanger and it doesn't ruin your handle. And so that's a great way to store crossbodies or even some of your other bigger handbags that you want to really keep nice. So they're basically called handbag hangers, and you can find them in a lot of different places, but it's a great way for handbags. And then lastly, shoes. Shoes are another thing that people either leave by their door, or they throw them underneath the clothes, or they throw them in the closet or whatever. So I just want you to believe that shoes are part of how you make an outfit look elevated, as also is accessories, as in your clothes that you wear. So you want to treat these with respect also. You want to organize them by style. And so my favorite way to organize shoes is on a shelving unit if you have it. It doesn't need to be big, but any way that you can get them so you can actually see them. And a lot of them have adjustable shelves. So if you can tighten that up a little bit. You can also put them over a component over your door, and you can put them in those clear slots. Those are two easy ways that you can actually see your shoes without them getting lost. Either way, you want to organize them by style and then by color. Or you organize them by overall color. So my preference is you put your pumps together, you put your tennis shoes together, you put your flats together, because that's how you're wearing them. You're choosing what you're wearing that day based on what you're doing. So if you don't have them organized by style, it's a lot harder to find it. But if you don't have a ton of shoes, organizing it by color is the objective then, because if you need a black shoe, you're either picking from a tennis shoe, a pump, or a flat. Those could be your black shoes. Okay, so a couple other things that I want to just talk about. Lounge has been one of the biggest things happening right now. And I'm sure everybody's like, what do I do with my lounge? Because that's where we're spending all our time. So like I talked about your closet, you want to build this closet that actually is something you're going to wear. So if lounge is what you're wearing now, then you want that to be front and center in your closet. So you'll have to reorganize your closet in a way that that becomes what you're wearing right now is what you see. And I think we all think, okay, I threw my closet's done, I'm good. There's a maintenance to a closet. You're buying things, you're wearing things you don't like anymore. You're running around, you're in a hurry, you're throwing things in there, and then they go in the wrong spot, and then you're kind of like all messed up, and then you're like, oh, forget it, I'm not even going to worry about it. And I know that happens a lot because you end up literally with that mindset of, what am I going to do when things get unorganized, right? And so there is a maintenance level. So what I would suggest is once a week, you're spending a little time kind of going through and making sure things are where they should be. It can be 15 minutes. It does not have to be long. But when you're not doing it, it gets all over the board and you cannot keep up on it. And then that's what gets out of control.
I love that so much, Michelle.
What?
I said, I love that so much. That's such a great tip.
Yeah, and it's really doesn't take as long if you keep up on it. And it's not something that has to take a long time. But if you're not doing it, it just can be really frustrating. So every season you want to change out your closet of the things you can see, but also your lifestyle. So right now we would normally do, okay, right now all your summer stuff is out of the way and your winter stuff's where you can see it, right? But is your lounge where you can see it? Is your lounge accessible? Is it easy to find? Is it easy to put your outfits together in the lifestyle you're living right now? That's a big thing I don't think people really think about. And they tend to fold a lot of lounge. So it gets stuck in these drawers and these corners and these shelves. And we don't find it easy to sometimes get dressed. So here's what I'm going to challenge you all to do. Is your closet, we've already talked about the org piece, but now is your closet representing your lifestyle? So, you know, if you have things folded in drawers, hang them. If you have a closet with all of your blazers and everything else that you can see and you're not even wearing those, hang some of your lounge, get some of that in a way that you can use your closet. and then see if that helps getting dressed in the morning. Hang your leggings, hang some of your fun sweatshirts that are fashion. Make sure your sweaters are easy accessible, because that's what we're wearing right now. It's not easy for us to be wearing your blazers right now. There's really not as many places to go. So you have to treat your lounge with love as much as you're treating your other stuff. Athleisure, that whole concept is totally what's happening right now, and that's what you want to do. Okay, so I think that's all I really wanted to cover. So let's do some questions.
Yeah, well, we had quite a few questions come through. So
Okay.
a couple of them that came through while you were chatting was, and this one I don't know if I'm prepared to ask you because I'm afraid that we'll never get out of here. But someone did say, how do you find your style, or can you have several? You have 30 seconds, Michelle.
Okay. Well, ladies, this is a longer than 30-second answer, but it doesn't have to be. Basically, your style should be what makes you feel good. And so there are tons of different styles. There's boho, there's classic, there's eclectic, there's just a ton. And some days we're not the same styles we were yesterday. They meld together sometimes. Just because a shirt has some lace on it doesn't mean that it's a boho style. So we get caught up a little bit in, oh my God, my style has to be fit in this box. But it's really about what makes you feel great, and how do you come across feeling confident. So there'll be certain brands or certain styles that you're drawn to, and those are where you go back to see if that fits into what you're trying to do. That's what I talk to my clients a lot about, is if you can find some key brands that feel like you, that when you wear it, you feel good, you start shopping there, and then you open it up. The other thing is, Pinterest is a great opportunity for you to pull together a board that says, this is what I want to be. This is who I want to present to the world. And your question that you ask is this is what I see myself as wanting to be, and this is how I'm presenting myself. And you have to marry those two. And sometimes marrying those two means you need a professional to come help you, because it's not always easy, but it can be done. And that's a great way to start for yourself if you don't want the professional to help. Otherwise, grab someone to help you, and that'll get you there.
Awesome. And then we had a couple storage questions. So we've got, how do you store scarves? How do you store jewelry that can tarnish easily? How do you store fashion eyeglasses? Maybe ones that you don't wear every day. And then specific shoe displays, whether like any recommendations for products.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe I should have hit them one at a time.
No, that's okay. Okay, so for your so items that tarnish, there are a couple ways to do it. There are glass cases that you can find, and you can cover it. You can find it as wall hangings or trays that you can put on the desk. And that's really cool because you can still see it. The most important thing is that you can still see it. That is going to be my biggest message as a stylist, and organizing in a way that you're going to wear it. You will not see it if you don't. You can take a drawer, and you can also put it in a drawer that has trays in it that allow you to showcase it in a drawer. So, you can take one of your top drawers if you can tighten up some of your lounge that you can maybe hang, or the stuff that we just only wear at home. Do you really need as many pieces that you're only going to wear at home sitting there? Probably not. Get rid of the ones on the bottom and condense a little bit, and take a drawer and put a tray in it. That's another way to keep things kind of covered if you need to. For what was the other question?
Scarves. So for
scarves is a good one. Okay, so I do not believe in rolling scarves and crunching them up and everything. They will not come easily, so you can wear it right away. You have to iron it and all that stuff. So I say there's scarf hangers. There you can hang them over a regular scarf. I also will fold them if they're folded in a long format, but not the ones that are chiffon that will actually get wrinkled, because you'll never wear them if they're wrinkled. And then the other way is, I actually did some hooks in a room, And I actually have mine hanging over some hooks, and they just look like a display. Again, I think all accessories are like works of art, jewelry, handbags, shoes, and honestly scarves too. So when you can see them, you're going to wear them. And I love that if you can display them in a room if you have enough space.
And then we had questions about specific shoe displays, if you have any recommendations for specific products.
So the thing about shoes is going to be based on the space you have. So the bottom line is that it's really going to depend on your space. I do like the shelving concept where you can see them. That is by far the number one, because the more you can't see them, the less you're going to wear them. I also like the things that have the clear plastic where you can put them in there so you can see them, but it's very hard to still see them as much as you really want to. I also like, even if you don't have the ability to have a whole shelving unit up, there's also some other concepts that are a little bit shorter and that have like little mini shelving that you can feature right there. So I would also suggest that in the season you're in, you make sure those are the ones that are featured out, and the season you're not in, you move those, because most people don't have so many shoes that they can't do that. So that way they can feature the ones they have, because usually if they're all sitting there, there's so many, and that's how you end up just stuffing them. So if you keep the specific ones that you are wearing at that season visually, it's going to allow you to find a space that they can fit where you can see them.
Okay, and then one last question. What type of hanger do you use for your jeans?
I use a clip hanger. So I'm going to talk hangers for 1 second. One of the biggest tips I can give you about your closet is have the same hanger. Because if you don't have the same hanger, it starts looking messy and cluttered naturally. So go to the same hanger. That's number one. I use velvet hangers because they hold everything. They don't give you as much in the shoulder issue. And then also they just are pretty. Plastic hangers are really good. The clear plastic hangers are good. The black velvet also don't take up as much space in your closet. And that's really important when you don't have as much closet space. The hangers for pants are clip hangers. I use the clear clip hangers that go like this. I get them at Meijer or Target, or the velvet black hangers also have a clip to them, and that's why they're the same as your others. But I find the clear plastic the best ones because they have a stronger hold to them than the black velvets.
That's awesome. Thank you. Well, I think we are getting close to the end, and I do want to open it up because I know everybody has some questions and we can unmute. But before some people walk away, and before we open up for questions, I just want to take a second and just say how grateful that I am and the Women Who Group and all of our members are to each of you for gifting us all this information and making all of our ADD kick in and start decluttering, organizing, and going room by room. But we are really grateful. And I just want to remind everybody that participated, the women who shared with us tonight, they've all graciously donated giveaways for virtual consultations with them. And in order to do that, we are all going to show our appreciation. You can find Moxie Life Organizing on Facebook or on Google. Just search for it, Moxie Life Organizing. You can find Spark Joy in Michigan on Google or on Facebook. Just search for it. You can find it. You can find Michelle Krick Style on Google and on Facebook. Just search for it. You can find it. Women who will also post links to these pages. And go on there and leave a review and leave feedback and tell each one of these women one of the great things that you learned tonight. And that helps drive their business, and that helps encourage other people who may be interested to seek them out and understand what they can get from each one of them. So if you do that, you will also get entered to win time with them. So you don't have to do it just altruistically. You could also get the benefit of some one-on-one time with each of them. So I just really want to encourage everyone not to forget to do that, and we'll draw them and announce winners and contact you by Monday. So in in that being said, I want to thank everyone for joining and just open it up for questions. So I think you can feel free to unmute yourself. If you can't, wave at me frantically and I'll unmute you. And just ask any general questions you might have for anybody. Crickets. Crickets. Okay, I'll go first. So I did have a question for Michelle. I have a lot of eyeglasses because I don't like to wear contacts and I buy a lot. And I know Kate's got a cute pair on there too, and I don't know if those are her only ones. Rhiannon, I also know, is quite the fan. So how do you recommend organizing eyeglasses or maybe another utilitarian accessory?
So I would take a tray and feature them in a tray, just laid out just like this. You want to treat those just like you would jewelry, any piece of jewelry. It is an accessory that creates your look. So I love the idea of a tray sitting out if that's your big idea. You can also have it in a drawer with a tray in the drawer. And also there are, have you ever been to the eyeglass fixture space? And it, like, imagine it's the tray can take up a lot of space on your counter, but there's some that go up. And then you hold it just like an eyeglass like this, and it goes up or down. And so it saves space because you're using the height. So that one is a really cool way to do eyeglasses if you want to invest in something like that. And you can find that always on the internet somewhere. So
I feel like I should take a picture of my display of my glasses. I'll go do that real quick.
do it. We worked on Rhiannon's presentation because she only wears jewelry and eyeglasses, really. And so we created just this amazing space for her accessories, and it was so much cleaner, and now she wears them so much more. So she'll take a picture.
Awesome. Anyone else have a question they want to throw out to anyone?
How about for photos and negatives? Like, I'm older, so I have a lot of like boxes full of the negatives and some photos, and just, I was thinking of getting a scanner machine. I was looking into that.
I don't mind stepping in for this one. Simone, is that your name?
Oh, sorry. It's my son. I'm Liz.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm going to tell you, as an organizer, you know, there are professional photo organizers out there, and I have referred that. It is a major investment. Forever.com is something worth checking out, because the process is so time consuming. And that's something for my company, as I said, you know, as far as like, you know, we're able to organize photos into the archive boxes. So that's something like so, you know, there's specific types of boxes to store them in to, you know, to make sure that they're not getting acid like damaged. You know, you want to make sure not to store them in the basement where they're getting moisture. But as far as the digitizing process, I'll just say it's very time consuming. It's worth hiring out. Forever.com. Forever is a great way. You can actually send your photos in, and they will take care of that and do that for you. It is, again, it's an investment. And I know, again, we have a local, she's based out of Holland that we use that does that service as well. I don't know about any in Grand Rapids, but you know, if anybody has some, pipe in. But one of the things with photos is you're going to pay money if you hire someone to do that. I just want to say that, like, that's it, because you want somebody that's going to take care of your documents and take care of that history, store it well, and then there's a, you know, make sure that it's very well taken care of. So make sure right now, like, a lot of people will store it in plastic, but the toxins in the plastic over time can actually compromise the value of the photo. So at the very least, I would look at, you know, different archive boxes, start looking online and Googling a little bit, and to preserve those photos.
Okay.
That's such a great tip about the plastic. I never would have thought about that with older photos. Any other questions? Anyone want to pipe in?
I did put a question in there for Michelle specifically because when athleisure came out, I jumped on that wagon hardcore. And, and a lot of my job is like physical. I'll go in and do my initial consult and I'll look all nice. This is nice for me, by the way. And, and then after that, I'm like, when I show up next time, I'm going to have a t-shirt, I'm going to have my yoga pants on. And I've become more and more comfortable. What sparks joy for me is elastic waistbands. So what is something, as far as a woman professional, eventually I'm going to have to go back into meetings and meet with people out there. Something that is like yoga pants, but not and professional. And I've bought some pants that I like with the like tummy control, but something that people aren't going to look at it and say she's rocking some yoga pants. Pockets aren't added. If you have like a recommended line or something like that.
So I think things are changing a little bit, and we don't need to think of yoga pants as yoga pants anymore. So I think there's a lot of ways to wear sweaters and dress it up with a dressy boot. There's a way to take a blazer with a legging or such. So nowadays you don't see a yoga pant as much as a yoga pant anymore. So it's how you style it that's going to elevate your look, really. And so you can keep the yoga pants. And the high-waisted trend is not going away. It is one of the most amazing trends out there. If you haven't tried it high-waisted anything, then do it, and do it for your jeans for sure. By the way, you will love them. But I don't think any of that's going away. Now there are pants that I'm still seeing, like something like let's say a Vince. Vince has this pant that is an elevated fabrication. So it's not as tight as a yoga pant, but it's still kind of a fitted pant. Has a little bit of poly in it, maybe some poly rayon. And that look is a really good example of how you can still be quite comfortable. It's elastic, it's simple, but yet it's not as tight. So you want to just look for some of those styles and pants like that that'll allow you to still have that mindset of the comfort and the elastic waist, but you're going to get a little bit elevated fabric, and that makes a difference. The other thing is I'm seeing a lot of different fabrications in the leggings, and they don't have to be considered yoga pants, it could be leggings, whatever it is. Shine, leather, there's so much happening with all the interesting fabrications. So I definitely think that, you just have to kind of meld it into what your style is, and you can still incorporate them, but there are ways to elevate it, but still have your elastic.
Right on. Thank you.
I don't think any of us are giving that up soon.
It's basically giving me permission to wear yoga pants, which I've already been doing, and I'm going to do it without guilt now. I appreciate that.
I think one of the components on that is you don't have to look frumpy because you're wearing yoga pants. It's elevating with an interesting sweatshirt, a sweater, a blazer, things like that you already have in your closet. Even a woven shirt looks great with the legging with the right shoe. And now you're elevating your look, and it's things you already have in your closet. We have to get out of the mindset of this is for workout, this is for lounge, and this is for work. Build a closet that they all meld together, and you'll feel a much looser mindset in how to utilize a lot of things in your closet.
Love it. Thank you.
I love it. Any other questions? More questions?
I have one.
Yeah.
I know earlier we talked about the pantry and, allowing to think about like what we want to cook for our family and everything. So I have a large closet pantry that I can open, and there's lots of shelves and everything. But how much space should you allow like for replenishment? Because it's constantly changing. I guess what's a good organization way for that? You always have your canned goods, but then like your snacks will change up. I have a family, so I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, thanks for asking, Sandy. Imagine your own pantry in your house, just like when you would walk into different aisles of a grocery store.
Okay.
It's in the same logic. So your ethnic food will be in one aisle. Your grains and dry goods will be in one portion. Your canned goods will be in one portion. And your baking supplies will be another portion. Just find some imaginary pockets within your pantry to organize it so it makes sense like you will walk into a store.
Oh, thank you. That helps make sense and to help me better organize that. So thank you.
Absolutely. I would love to see your before and after picture, Cindy.
Oh, we'll see.
Keeping you
I'm gonna
accountable.
try.
And yeah, I want to piggyback off of what Mabel said and said there are great like can dispensers. If you use a lot of canned goods, you know, you can always, there are dispensers for that versus the stacking method. You know, if there's certain token things, there are can dispensers of all different sizes. It can fit 10, 12. I mean, you can get them up to like 200 cans. It's a thing, and you can find them on Amazon. But you know, when I'm working with pantries, I always tell people like be true to yourself. That's a big thing. So, you know, for a while I would buy all these like low fat soups, low fat this and that. And it was like they sat for so long. You know, and I'm like, really? You know, I wasn't eating those. But typically you want your pantry to be like, I mean, 75% full, 75 to 90% full. And anytime you go out shopping and you're going to buy more items, you really want to take a good inventory of what you have. So what do you have, you know, and like Mabel had said, breaking down some of those, like the dry goods, you know, the rice, cereal, whatever it may be, canned goods, what are you running low on? So really taking a good inventory. And let's be real, we buy things and then we don't really love them, but you know, consider donating. There's a lot of different things. Community Food Bank, they'll take those, you know, Ronald McDonald House will take food donations. Sometimes I like to play what I call a little pantry roulette, and I didn't coin that term. My friend did that has kids, where it's like, we're working through this pantry. Okay, what's been sitting there for the longest? What are we not working our way through? And let's like go on Pinterest, Google our way through a recipe for this and work through some of this stuff, or give it to family and friends or somebody else who's going to use it. The pantry is, I would say, I think you ladies can agree that one of the beasts, because there's constantly that in and out and in and out, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things that maintenance is huge and really having good inventory of what you have.
That's awesome. Thank you. Well, we are just a little bit over time, which I think was fine. Everyone had great questions. Did anyone else want to throw out one last question before we wrap things up? No? Okay. Well, that's all right. I see a lot of familiar faces on here. Women who have come to other Women Who events and people that we've networked before and everything. So if you are not yet, I want to encourage you to join the Women Who member group. We have 2 monthly newsletters and a lot of great information within our Facebook space and a lot of great tools and resources for women in our area that we're rolling out. So it's all of our events are always free. So we encourage you to come every time. The board, we put a lot into everything, and we do that because we just want it to be a lot of value to our local community of amazing female and female identifying and non-binary persons in the Grand Rapids area. So I want to say on behalf of everyone, thank you for coming, and thank you so much again, Mabel, Michelle, and Kate. And don't forget to leave them great reviews, and I hope to see everybody in the future. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.